What's up, punks, trenchies, and death clowns? The following is part of an 8-episode series examining the trans allegory of Lisa Frankenstein. Be sure you've watched the movie first. I will not be held responsible for you being spoiled otherwise. Okay, let's go! Welcome to Tilly's Trans Tuesdays, television batteries at maximum for the unintentionally intentional trans allegory of Lisa Frankenstein Part 7. This week, transition goes further than ever, which causes those we love to reveal their true nature. Hi, I'm Tilly Bridges, your host, and I'm joined by my writing partner, my best friend, my wife, our token cis representation, the lady whose true nature is tough girl with a soft, kind center, Susan Bridges.
Hello.
Our returning guest is the steady Kent Eigengrau. Welcome back, Kent.
Happy to be back.
All right, come on, just listen to parts 1 through 6 and episodes 134 to 139 first so that you actually understand what I'm saying. Okay, do it for me. Okay, thanks, moving on. 54 minutes, 51 seconds. Lisa stitches the hand onto Frank. Here in her heart, she rejected the guy who assaulted her. Remember her confusion after it happened in the boys will be boys world we live in. As a trans man, when she wondered if she didn't want to assault women, was she really a man? Could she really be one? Is that really what quote-unquote men are? No, you can be a man and respect women, actually, and here she's finally rejected the kind of man Doug was. And it brings another piece of the real her to life. 55 minutes, 27 seconds. Frank goes for another dose of HRT energy in the tanning bed, and Lisa increases the dose to ultra high. We're moving up. 55 minutes, 52 seconds. Frank sits up from the tanning bed, more human than ever before. And look, this is just my opinion, but his artful shaggy hair, the sideburns, the comfy casual clothes, Frank looks extremely trans-mass-coded to me.
Yes, can confirm. I definitely was rocking sideburns early on while I was waiting for the rest of my facial hair to come in. The apprehension to shave it off because I wanted it to be there and I wanted there to be more. So
Yeah,
that's definitely a thing. The shaggy, like in between hair is actually sort of a recommended thing. Bangs will help you pass better for whatever reason. I used to have a very poofy sort of haircut in the front where I would allow sort of the bangs to grow out more, and it looked very like 80s nerd boy kind of haircut. But yeah, no, bangs definitely help. Fluffier haircuts that's kind of like skater boy definitely does help you early on.
and I feel like I've seen like at least 10 trans guys who look just like Frank does when he sits up here.
Oh, yeah,
feel
no,
like-
we there's a joke about our community that we all kind of dress the same, and occasionally, yes, that is true. There's pictures of us at Pride marches in the 90s where everybody comments, "Wow, you guys just have not evolved your style since the 90s." Yep, no cargo shorts and baggy clothes and black sweatshirts. Yeah, button up, short sleeve button ups. That's just kind of how we are.
Hey, what works, works. That's all that matters. 56 minutes, 14 seconds. They embrace, they dance in celebration. Lisa's starting to really accept her inner man. 57 minutes, 3 seconds. Frank immediately takes to the piano to express himself. He's great, and Lisa's impressed. 57 minutes, 55 seconds. Lisa, you had a whole life. Frank points at her. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I do. I guess so. She does now. 58 minutes, 10 seconds. Frank wants her to play the piano with him, 2 as 1. She says no, the piano is her dad's. He hasn't played since her mom died. Her only access to masculinity hasn't expressed itself since her mom's terrible reaction to Lisa being trans. 58 minutes, 22 seconds. She sits next to him but doesn't want to play, clasps her arms behind her back. As they play, again, look how similar their hair is to each other as they sit side by side. Almost the same silhouette, but reversed. And we were introduced to Frank in the opening credit animation as a silhouette. Huh. 58 minutes, 40 seconds. She sings, expressing herself as he expresses himself. They are as one. And this is REO Speedwagon's I Can't Fight This Feeling. Now, I've been keeping a list, a long list of popular songs that have really strong trans readings. There will be an episode featuring them someday, and let me tell you that this song has been on my list for years. It is 100% reads like a trans person truly accepting themselves. I can't fight this feeling any longer, and yet I'm still afraid to let it float. What started out as friendship has grown stronger. I only wish I had the strength to let it show. And even as I wander, I'm keeping you in sight. You're a candle in the window on a cold, dark winter's night. I'm getting closer than I ever thought I might. And I can't fight this feeling any longer. I've forgotten what I started fighting for. And if to bring this ship into the shore come crashing through your door, baby, I can't fight this feeling anymore. This is Lisa's transition self-acceptance song. 1 hour, 4 seconds. Frank sniffles. Yeah, it's so emotional to finally accept yourself and live life as your true self, though again, the new smell catches her off guard.
The stuff with the pillow is really hilarious.
Or she just jams it into his face.
The physical comedy. It's just
Yeah.
absolutely face plants it into him. There's also just this interesting thing about with trans men of this whole boys don't cry kind of thing.
Yeah.
There's definitely some toxic masculinity there that a lot of men, trans or not, have to deal with.
Yeah.
Is just sort of letting your emotions out, and I feel like a lot of trans men feel like they have to be no, I can't be emotional about this. I have to be a man. I have to overdo it.
Right. Yeah.
Also, just going back to the use of music in this movie, a lot of trans men express concerns about losing their singing voice or having to change how they interact with music. That's something that comes up a lot with starting HRT or being apprehensive about transitioning. And honestly, the trade-off is that you'll be more confident. You might not have the exact same range that you had before. There's always voice coaching that you can do to remain somewhat in the range that you want to be at, but also it might open up more possibilities for you. I definitely have been afraid of karaoke and singing for a long, long time. I'm much more of a musical instrument type person. But yeah, it was very cool to me when I could sing along with some of my favorite songs and it actually was at the right register for me. So that was comforting, at least.
Yeah, that's something I hadn't thought of, from the other angle, with trans women, our voice won't change unless we work to change it. And so that's not a thing we have to worry about. But for anybody who goes on testosterone, your voice will likely deepen. And so, yeah, that's got to be, you can't stop that from happening.
No, and it's usually it'll come in increments.
Yeah.
Your voice does crack, you will go through that interesting period where you're like, oh boy, and there will become a point where you physically can't get to where you previously were without stretching it out and doing vocal exercises to get back there. But yeah, there's also a common thing where it'll deepen to the deepest point before kind of going back and leveling out to where you're going to sit for however long you're continuing on HRT. And it does not necessarily return. So if you're going off HRT, your voice is going to be that deep. You would have to do what a lot of trans femmes have to do in order to raise it again. So
right. Yeah. And even after all the work that I did for years to change my voice, if I try to talk the way I used to before, in that same range, it physically hurts, because my muscles have been retrained. And so doing that, it's a really, really difficult thing.
Yeah, I whenever I try to get up like really, really high, I can only get so like high up before it just becomes just silence. Like I can't physically make those noises anymore. So
Yeah. 1 hour, 39 seconds. Lisa to Frank. You saved me. Yeah, our true selves do save us. We are the one we've been waiting for. The Matrix is all about this. Please do read Begin Transmission for more. 1 hour, 1 minute, 10 seconds. Lisa, I gotta go change my pad. Yeah, Trey and the guys may have to do that. And you gotta get upstairs for the night because they're gonna be home soon. This has been great, but I can only do this when I'm home alone. I can't come out to my family or let them catch me.
mhm.
1 hour, 1 minute, 31 seconds. Look how miserable Lisa is having to hide her true self around her family. But she is still in black, though she's still hiding her true self from them. She's no longer hiding it from herself. 1 hour, 2 minutes, 43 seconds. Lisa makes a bad excuse to go up to her room, especially because Taffy is going to try and call their mom, and her dad notices her fingernails. There's blood around them. What have you been doing? She's suddenly worried she's been caught. It's like when you experiment with gender when you're alone and try to remove all signs before anyone sees, and maybe you missed a spot. We see this in I Saw the TV Glow, which was discussed
Mhm.
in episode 81 onward, and Owen being ashamed of it, trying to wipe and scrape the evidence off of himself. But Dad's not even worried she might have hurt herself. He's agog that she used whiteout and not pretty nail polish like she'd been taught. Nails should be polished and pretty and feminine, never concerned with her well-being, only her appearance.
Yeah, there's a bit of a trigger warning, but there's a bit of self-harm-ish coding to the whiteout on the fingers and like it affecting the skin around her fingers. Like I absolutely despised painting my nails. I
Sure.
hate stuff on my fingers. I would scratch it all off whenever friends of mine when I was younger would like paint my nails. I could not deal with it.
Yeah.
But just the idea of like being caught either gender non-conforming by a parent, like slipping up, like, oh no, you weren't supposed to see that, or
Yeah.
conversely, like parents noticing signs of self-harm, but then really not taking it seriously or not like understanding it. Like I felt like this is something that happened with my generation growing up, is there was a lot of talk about self-harm going on and it being a trend that people were doing
For attention.
for attention. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was such a harmful narrative that you
Yeah.
heard it everywhere. You heard it on the news, you heard it from parents, you heard it from teachers. It was just like this constant like, oh well, the internet is making these kids like hurt themselves and it's a trend. They think it's cool and interesting and dark and emo, and it's like, no, you need to listen to your kid. They're trying to tell you something. Like the lack of communication here is resulting in problems. It's not just a fad.
Yeah,
So,
I think it's probably also still stems from that same thing that I think is at the root of a lot of the issues around kids, is that they're people and too many parents treat them like
yes,
property and not people.
yes,
And that's
yes.
that's I think, yeah, at the heart of a lot of it.
especially in the conservative
Oh yeah.
Christian
Mm-hmm.
community.
Yes, it's my child needs to be an exact copy of myself and what
Yep.
I want them to be. And they build up, I feel like a lot of parents will build up an idea of the person they want their kid to be and will
Yep.
fall more in love with that idea than the actual person that they end up becoming, which
Yeah. That's
is,
exactly what my mother did. And she
yeah.
tried to force me into that person, and that was never
Mm-hmm.
gonna be who I was. And
Yeah.
yeah,
But also very much like what you do reflects on me, and that's really the problem.
that too.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And yeah, like just the little bits of like non-conformity, whether they be gender or mental health struggles that go ignored because they're embarrassing to the parent is
Yep.
always, it's just extra layers of harmful. Like it's just adding shame where there really shouldn't be shame.
Exactly. Yeah.
So,
It's children are people. They're not property. Get with it,
exactly.
people. 1 hour, 3 minutes, 20 seconds. Lisa goes into the closet where Frank is playing with dolls. She laughs. Lisa, That's Starlight Rosebud, hella good girl, gonna need a big bank, but I just call her Niblets Corn. Can I just say how much I love that entire bit? Okay. I don't play with dolls anymore. Is that a name a girl who liked playing with dolls might name their doll? And the disdain when she said, I don't play with dolls anymore. Is that because she's too old or because she wasn't into girly things like that?
Dolls. I hated getting dolls.
Mm.
I also hated getting dolls. The one time I got a Barbie, I strapped it to a firework.
Wow. Wow.
And nobody realized I was a boy until I came out to them. It was such a shock.
There were no signs.
There were no signs whatsoever. Absolutely none.
1 hour, 4 minutes, 7 seconds. Taffy calls Lisa from the hall, and Lisa freaks out and quickly closes that closet, almost caught exploring your true gender again. Terrifying. 1 hour, 4 minutes, 16 seconds. When Taffy says she called her mom's hotel and she never checked in, Frank thumps the closet door. With overly restrictive, transphobic, forced feminine gender conformity gone, the real us is anxious to finally get out of the closet for good. 1 hour, 4 minutes, 21 seconds. When Taffy's talking about trying to find Janet in a Milwaukee hotel, note she mentions Janet had multiple different last names. Forced compulsory cisgender heterosexuality says it's fine for cis women getting married to change their names, but they balk at trans people doing it. And remember, Janet was a complete hypocrite, so this tracks. Name changes for me, but not for thee. Gender-affirming healthcare for me, and not for thee. Once again, see cis people get gender-affirming healthcare too in episode 22, and Trans Kids 1, Facts and Dangers in episode 127, which will show you the very people legislating against surgeries trans kids aren't getting make carve-outs in the laws to be sure they can force surgeries on intersex infants to make them conform.
All trans healthcare was designed as cis healthcare. We
Yep.
are all human bodies. Medical science is going to respond roughly the same way. It's not like a trans person needing a heart transplant is suddenly going to be getting the trans heart transplant. It's the same
I'm going to put that on
surgeries.
my medical forms though. Give me trans hearts only. No
I
cis hearts for
only
me.
I only want organ donation, but only for trans people.
Yeah.
I mean, some of the conservatives, I think, would probably be very much in agreement with that of just sort of like separate but equal
Oh
healthcare.
yeah.
Yeah, oh
This was a
yeah.
joke, my friends. A joke. Okay. 1 hour, 6 minutes. Frank, in a nightgown, uses the magic wand on Lisa's shoulders, but Lisa is in a collared set of pajamas with pants with cowboys on it.
Yes.
Distinctively dudes. They
Yes.
have swapped. 1 hour, 6 minutes, 32 seconds. Lisa, do you feel anything in your body? Will being a man make me feel like my body is mine and that I'm whole? Frank grunts and nods. Lisa, it must be kind of uncomfortable sleeping in the closet. Let him out. Let him feel.
No, that scene was like that was a scene that struck me of just that first of all, like it must be uncomfortable sleeping in the closet is just yeah, oof, there it is. That's very much the soapbox of the movie going on there, but also
Yep.
just the can you feel anything in your body question.
Yeah, that line like ripped me open the first time I heard
Yeah,
it.
I feel like that's a question that a lot of cis people will have about like trans men and also trans women of just like after like once you've been quote unquote post-op, like I feel like a lot of cis people are like, does it work? Is it real? Does it look the same? Just like your
Yeah, none
morbid
of your business,
curiosity
by the way.
is weird and
Yeah.
intrusive.
Yeah.
But there's definitely that stereotype and that fear of like it's not gonna look right. It's not gonna behave right. It's not gonna work the same way. And that question I think is in this scene at least asked earnestly and
Yeah.
curiously,
Right.
but it's also like that's a deep thing I think for a lot of trans men that are thinking about like bottom surgery
Yeah.
and even top surgery to some degree. Like you can lose feeling in parts of your chest after top surgery. It's something that I'm currently looking into, and that's one of the things that the doctors have all been trying to stress to me. It's like, okay, just note that you're not going to have as much feeling in certain areas on your chest anymore. And like, that's fine. That's fine
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah, it is important to note that when Lisa asks that, do you feel anything? It's genuine. It's like
Yeah.
it feels like her wondering, is this going to help me? How will this change how I feel, And so
Hmm.
it's not meant as derogatory in any way. And also, cis people, do not ask us about our junk. If you wouldn't ask a cis person
No.
about their junk, do not ask a trans person about our junk. It's none of your business.
Remember, not your business.
Just don't be weird. Just don't be weird.
Just stop
That's
it.
that's the rule.
1 hour, 7 minutes, 21 seconds. Look at them side by side in bed in the same position, the trans lamp on the bedside table. Here, together in the subconscious, they face transness head on. 1 hour, 8 minutes, 40 seconds. There's an electric zap and the lights flicker due to the magic wand, and Lisa cries out, "Oh my God!" We know what zaps mean. Life, transition progress, and sometimes that includes learning how your body responds differently to certain stimuli after beginning HRT. Listen to episode 110. 1 hour, 9 minutes, 23 seconds. Lisa. After my mom died, everyone was in such a hurry to go back to normal, and they kept acting like I had a problem because I couldn't stop missing her. Started to feel like I was going crazy. I thought that was going to last forever, but it didn't, and pretty soon everybody seemed like they were almost excited to move on and forget about her. Lisa's mom's betrayal wounded her, but everyone else just wanted Lisa to go back to normal and act like nothing happened. 1 hour, 9 minutes, 48 seconds. Here we see them drink at the same time, because they're the same person. Lisa, they kept saying time heals all wounds, but that's a lie. Time is the wound, takes you further and further from that place when you were happy, makes those good smells go away. People are so afraid of death because they don't know when it's going to happen to them. Could be an axe murderer, it could be the flu, but they don't know and they hate that. So I'm not afraid of death anymore. She's no longer afraid of transition, even though it is literally making her good smell change. 1 hour, 10 minutes, 46 seconds. They drink at the same time again. Lisa, but I don't want to die a virgin. She wants to experience life, but for real this time, as her true self. 1 hour, 11 minutes, 20 seconds. Lisa asks Frank if he ever had sex, and Frank drinks while she clears her throat. Can't respond when you're drinking, might make you choke a little. Frank admits he had sex one time with a woman he loved. Lisa, I want that. I want to do it with someone I truly love, like Michael Trent. She wants to fully experience life as a gender nonconforming man. Frank grunts in annoyance because he's already there, but she still doesn't feel like he is.
And she doesn't really love Michael Trent. I mean, she
No.
barely knows Michael Trent.
Yes.
That's why it's
Yeah,
hilarious.
again, it's the idea of the person
Yeah.
versus the actual person, and I think that becomes apparent later.
It sure does. 1 hour, 11 minutes, 55 seconds. Lisa says she's going to offer her body to Michael. She's going to try to make her body like his. 1 hour, 12 minutes, 29 seconds. Lisa's now in the most black she's ever been in. Transition is rolling right along. Taffy literally says it's a costume. Nobody would really dress like that, Lisa. Taffy's upset about not knowing what happened to Janet, and they switch seats. Lisa is going to drive. Finally. 1 hour, 14 minutes, 40 seconds. Everyone at school knows Doug's missing. Taffy's too upset and says she's going home. Asks her friends if any of them can bring Lisa home after school, and nobody wants to. 1 hour, 15 minutes, 30 seconds. Michael isn't in class. He's missing. 1 hour, 15 minutes, 40 seconds. Lisa gets called to the principal's office. A girl student says dress code violation. Why are you dressing so weird, Lisa? Don't you know how to conform like a good girl? Girls don't dress the way you do. A boy student says slut penalty. You're too weird for the conformos. You'd have to be a sexual deviant to dress that way.
And I think it's interesting that it covers like most of her body.
Yes,
yeah.
she's showing
None
no
of those
skin.
actually are accurate.
Right?
I think that honestly, some of that is just like critique of like confidence, just like, oh, you're acting confident in yourself, so clearly it's slutty, it's transgressive, it's not
It's
for
breaking the
school, it's
rules.
Well,
breaking the
sure.
rules.
You're
Yeah.
dressing not like everyone else's, and you seem happy
Mhm.
about it, and we can't have that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's definitely a little bit of that for me growing up, as far as like school events being like girls must explicitly wear dresses to this formal event, and then I'd show up in a nice pantsuit, and I'd get so many
Yeah.
compliments from people being like, "Oh, right, look at you being like interesting and doing it your own way," and I'm just like, again, I don't own a dress. Like, this was what I had, and also this is more comfortable.
And there's no need for that rule at all. It's
And
Right.
no,
like,
it
just stop.
legitimately was not. Like graduation, you're going to be putting on a graduation gown anyways. Nobody's going to see the dress underneath. Nobody's going to see the
Yeah.
pants underneath. Why is that a requirement
And yet there's still
anyways?
rules around it
Mm-hmm.
about what you could wear underneath that no one
And it
sees.
makes no sense.
Yeah, and I quote unquote broke those rules. So there were comments in both the affirming and the negative that were flying my way, and I just kind of was like, well, should have bought me that dress if you really truly wanted me to wear it. If it was that important of a rule, you would have done something about it.
Yeah.
1 hour, 17 minutes, 31 seconds. Tamara. She's off her rocker. She needs help. You know, there's a rumor that she killed her own mother. There it is. She's trans. Ew, punish her. 1 hour, 17 minutes, 38 seconds. As Frank walks, an old man disparages a young boy in a dysphoria shirt trying to start a lawnmower. Pull harder. What are you, a little fruitcake, huh? Gender conformity comes for you when you're perceived as a boy, even if you're not, and even if you are.
I don't want you to miss the message here.
Right?
Mhm.
1 hour, 18 minutes, 2 seconds. Frank takes a dysphoria club off the steering wheel of Janet's car, which is yellow. She literally let fear drive her. It was locked by dysphoria, but now Frank is going to drive. The horrible old man objects to Frank's appearance. This is my neighborhood and you don't need to be here. So carry
Oh
your ass
boy.
on out or you and me are going to go after it right here.
He just has the most aggressive, like that kind of person energy. Like
Yeah.
that's another one of those scenes that's just like a little like, yeah, that like you end up cheering for, but it's also very comedically done too, where there's just like
Yes.
a cutaway and he's just laid out.
Yes.
It's like, oh, and the boy waving at the end is just
With
also
all smiles.
peak.
Yes.
Just
Yes.
peak.
So, of course, what the old man is saying there, in effect, is get out of here, you effing tranny, or it's violence. And then 1 hour, 18 minutes, 20 seconds, Frank drives off after we see he laid the old bigot out and took his clothes. The kid in the dysphoria tee waves and smiles happily as he goes. Protect trans kids, babes, and yourself. 1 hour, 19 minutes, 17 seconds. Lisa. Shit is transpiring, man. You have to take me to Michael's. She wants her inner dude to take her to the non-toxic man she wants to be, still not fully comprehending all the red flags she's seen along the way. 1 hour, 19 minutes, 25 seconds. Look at them sitting next to each other, both looking kind of formal, pseudo-Victorian in dress. They're approaching the moment of self-actualization when the inner man truly and finally comes out. 1 hour, 19 minutes, 50 seconds. Frank stops in front of a house with a ton of plastic pink flamingos in the yard. They kind of form a line. Lisa knows the quote-unquote order of conformity that she's been taught, and this is her last gasp at fighting her truth. I'm just a girl who wants to bang a guy, and nothing more. 1 hour, 20 minutes. Frank doesn't want her to have sex with Michael. You might be attracted to him, but mostly you want to be him, and that guy is right here in front of / inside of you, Lisa. Let him out. 1 hour, 20 minutes, 14 seconds. Lisa. It's your fault we're screwed. You killed Janet. It wasn't my idea. We're in this mess because I have a man inside me and not a woman, and you made me reject stereotypical femininity and the expectations that come with it. Okay, going after Doug was my idea, but only because killing Janet felt really good, and I was just an accomplice. You made me want to be the man I am, and then I had to reject being the sexist creep that society says is just boys being boys because that's not who I am. Lisa. But now you're out of control. You're beating people up, driving around in plain sight. You're making me see and reject all the lies of society, and you're out where people can see you, aka me. What will people think? 1 hour, 21 minutes, 20 seconds. Lisa. You act like you're happy for me and you care about me, but you're not really happy for me. Stay in the car. Don't let anyone see you. Let the fear box you in and hide your truth. Don't let anyone see. 1 hour, 21 minutes, 43 seconds. The house is red. Danger. Taffy's car is there. Red. Danger. 1 hour, 22 minutes, 7 seconds. The walls and the curtains are all yellow. She's afraid of what she's going to find because she has picked up on the warning signs, even if not consciously. 1 hour, 22 minutes, 22 seconds. Lisa sees Taffy in bed with Michael, blue walls and blanket. Michael isn't really different from the other guys after all, and the despair of that and of Taffy's betrayal is a lot. As they're about to kiss, she breaks in with a scream. Now remember, at this point, Taffy said she wasn't into Michael twice, and those were lies, because Michael gave her that hickey, and in fact, he even says he became infatuated with Taffy ever since the party back at the beginning of the film when Taffy was supposedly going to confront him and Tamara about spiking Lisa's dysphoria drink. Taffy was going to defend Lisa, but instead just took the guy she was interested in. Just like when she outed Lisa to the other girls at the party, Taffy's allyship has been false allyship, see episode 8, and performative allyship, see the essay at
Tilly'sTransTuesdays.com.
all along. She was never truly on Lisa's side. Taffy just wanted to feel like she was so she could think of herself as a good person.
Yeah, Lisa literally told her the scene before to the drive to the party who she was interested in. So
Yep,
that was
in the
that
car.
was
Yeah.
literally the same night that
The
happened.
same, like 10 minutes later, if that.
Yes.
Yeah. 1 hour, 23 minutes, 10 seconds. Michael calls her kiddo. Again.
Kiddo.
Infantilizing her just like her mom did, just like Doug. Say it with me. I freaking hate Doug. Michael is, in fact, no different from the rest of them. He says he doesn't have feelings for Lisa like he does for Taffy. Lisa. Why? Because I'm not sweet and simple like her? Because I'm not conforming to what society told me to? Not enough polarity for you, Werner Heisenberg? She is name-dropping theoretical physicists now. As with silent film director Pabst, Lisa demonstrates she's actually smart and knows a lot. You want to be the smart one who likes cool stuff, and you don't want your girlfriend to like cool stuff. Do you know how uncool that is? Why's he gotta not be the kind of man she thought he was, the kind she wishes she was and already really is? 1 hour, 23 minutes, 45 seconds. Here we go. Frank comes in to stand up for her, pulls the blanket off of Michael. Look at the blanket colors. There's pink and blue together. Something trans is going on here. On the Wings of Love by Jeffrey Osborne plays. Time for some lyrics. Like a stream running free, traveling on the wings of love. On the wings of love, up and above the clouds, the only way to fly is on the wings of love. On the wings of love, only the two of us together flying high on the wings of love.
There's a lot of wings of love.
It's not lyrically diverse.
It's not really.
If we again interpret flight as gender euphoria, which there's an essay about at
Tilly'sTransTuesdays.com.
and love as the love of self it takes to transition in spite of all society throws at you, here's the I found myself and gender euphoria moment. And given what's occurring when it plays, 1 hour, 24 minutes, 16 seconds. This is about Michael's quote-unquote manhood, i.e. Lisa realizing she didn't want him, she wanted to be him, or rather, who she imagined he was.
The horror comedy of this scene. Again, they managed to craft a scene that is just both the funniest thing and also one of the gorier scenes.
Yes.
At the same time, which is so funny.
Can we talk about how good the shot of the shadow on the wall?
The shadow flying
across?
Yeah, it's
so good.
It's so funny. The slow motion too.
Yes.
They knew what they were doing, and they're like, they got the assignment of how camp do we want this to be,
Yes.
and they nailed it.
The answer
Also,
was
it
all
going
the
into
camp.
the trash bin.
Yes.
It's so funny.
1 hour, 24 minutes, 19 seconds. Lisa is not horrified to realize what's going on. She's surprised and excited.
The editing, I just want to call out, is so good.
Yes.
Like her reaction shot,
Yes.
just great.
1 hour, 24 minutes, 44 seconds. Taffy screams and is horrified by Lisa's revelation. Lisa still stops Frank from hurting her. Lisa never wanted to hurt anyone, even when those same people don't and won't accept her for who she is. Remember, this kill represents Lisa rejecting what she doesn't want to be, which makes this one extra monumental and why it comes last. For the entire movie, she's been wanting to be Michael, but in learning the truth, that even he was putting on a bit of an act and wasn't who she thought he was, she's rejecting that too. She doesn't want to be any kind of man that's dishonest or uses women. She wants to be sensitive, creative, gender nonconforming guy, and so she shall. And as a reminder, we don't transition to hurt cis people. We transition to relieve our own hurt. If they're going to make it all about them and act like we lied to them, even though it was them and all of society who lied to us for our entire lives, perpetuating societal gaslighting, listen to episode 95. That is on them. It's not on us. Thanks for being here, Kent.
Absolutely.
Next week, we bring it all home and see if Lisa finally becomes the Frank she is. You might even say we wrap it all up. Tilly Bridges, end transmission. Tilly's Trans Tuesdays is hosted by Tilly Bridges and Susan Bridges, with audio editing and sound mixing by Jillian Morgan. The written essay version of this week's topic and all past topics is available at tillystranstuesdays.com. Special thanks to Daisy and Jane for the use of Sorry Not Sorry as our show's theme music. Please stop by and show your support at daisyandjane.bandcamp.com and soundcloud.com/daisyandjane. You can find me at Tilly Bridges on Blue Sky and on Mastodon at tillybridges at mastodon.social, and you can find Susan on those at Susan L. Bridges. You can find Jillian at Audio Jillian on Blue Sky. You can join the Tillyverse Discord server by following the link at the very bottom of tillystranstuesdays.com. We hold regular watch parties for the Matrix films and other trans movies where I do a live Q&A, and it's blossomed into a wonderfully supportive, compassionate, kind community of friends. We'd love to have you join us. If you'd like to keep up with all the writing that Susan and I do, you can sign up for our newsletter at birdguestbroadcast.com. If you enjoy this show, please take a moment to leave us a rating on Apple Podcasts. The largest segment of our listeners find the show there, and more reviews equals a higher profile, which means it will reach more of the people who need it. Thank you for your support. For more information, visit pendantaudio.com. Thanks for listening. Hey, I did a pun.